Hello, this is Ron Sen. Welcome to my series of talks of how ordinary people became extraordinary. In my last talk, I had shared with you how extraordinary people conquer their comfort zones. They get into the uncomfortable zone, they take risks, and that's how they achieve greatness in life. Today I'm going to share with you how extraordinary people think. The extraordinary people think of what they have. They look at their strengths and they use their strengths to the maximum in order to achieve what they want. The extraordinary people don't complain of what they don't have. The extraordinary people don't brood. They take responsibility of their actions. They don't blame others, and that's how they achieve greatness. On the other hand, the ordinary people, they focus their mind on their weaknesses. They focus their mind on what they don't have, and they spend most of their time complaining and brooding of what they don't have and blaming others for their misery. This is where the difference lies in the thought process of the ordinary and the extraordinary. The extraordinary person looks at the rose, and he knows to get the rose there will be thorns. His hands will get bruised, he will bleed. But he's not bothered by the thorns because his mind is focused on the rose. The ordinary person also wants the rose. But the problem with the ordinary person is he's scared with the thorns. He knows to pluck the thorn, his hands will bleed, so he abstains himself from plucking the rose, thus leading an ordinary life. To illustrate this, I will share two examples with you. Let's look at the great Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela spent 3 decades in prison. The bigger part of his life, most of his life, he was behind bars. He lost his family. He lost his friends. Tremendous torture was inflicted on him. But he knew what he wanted. He wanted to remove apartheid from South Africa. He wanted freedom for his country. And he went on fighting till he removed apartheid, till he got freedom for South Africa. That was the rose which Nelson Mandela wanted, although there were a lot of thorns around it, but he was not bothered by the thorns. He bled. He was even given amnesty. He was told that if you give up your fight for freedom, we will release you. But Nelson Mandela did not stop. Nothing could deter him. He was focused. He knew what he wanted. He focused on his strengths and ultimately got freedom for South Africa. And that's how Nelson Mandela became a legend. Let's look at another legend, another extraordinary man, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs started Apple. Steve Jobs had a vision. He had a vision to make computers to change the world. After a few years, when Apple was doing well and was growing, Steve Jobs was thrown out of his own organization. But did Steve Jobs give up? He didn't. He started Next Computers. He started Pixar Technologies, and very soon Pixar Technologies overtook Apple. And then ultimately, Apple realized that without Jobs, Apple was nothing. They bought over Next, and Jobs was reinstated as the CEO of Apple. So what was the rose that Steve Jobs was looking for? He wanted to make computers to change the world, and he went on through that journey in spite of all the hurdles, all the thorns that came his way, and that's how he became great. So this is the character of all extraordinary people. They are not bothered of what they don't have. They look at their strengths, they know what they want, and they move on the path until they achieve what they want to. And this is what makes them different from the ordinary people. So if you are wanting to walk the path of extraordinary people, look at what you have, look at your strengths, and use your strengths to the best, to the optimum, so that you can also achieve what you want and start walking the path of extraordinary people. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this talk. And if you have enjoyed it, kindly give your like and share this video with others and subscribe to this video. Looking forward to talking to you again on my next talk on the series of how ordinary people became extraordinary. Thank you very much. Bye for now.